can't see. I've got this whole setup here. There's like a laptop right there, notebook, and a Bible here. I have my microphone set up. Ukulele is on its way on for some good old-fashioned strumming. But still, it kind of feels like something is missing. Hey, Allison, I was just thinking about you earlier. Feels like something's missing. I don't know. But let's get into our theme song. Our theme song. Here we go. Wait a minute. Wait 1 second. Let me introduce myself. I am ThreePlusKei. I am just an honest Christian here to encourage you, baby, to pursue the smile by prioritizing the Lord, your physical health, and persistent education. And this space right here is called the Secret Heart Club. We've got an amazing theme song, and it goes a little bit like this. Welcome to the Secret Heart Club, everyone. Does our part to bring love, be loved. Hey, we love Jesus at the Secret Heart Club. Bah. There it is. We love Jesus at the Secret Heart Club. All right, man. Today I did some powerlifting and then worked the food truck, and I'll get into that in just a second. But I am wondering about tipping. Just so you know, I work on a food truck. I am standing up. This person over here is like every order is made to order, like nothing. You're not going to get anything immediately, right? So I will say that it's not the type of food truck where you're like, I would like a burger, and then maybe like 60 seconds later, here's your burger. It's more like, 5 to 10 minutes later, here's your burger. So that should be noted. But one thing is sometimes we do kids events, or like today was a soccer tournament. So parents would send their kids over with credit cards. And what I do know is that kids don't tip. Typically, I would say 9 times out of 10, kids won't tip. And I don't think it's their fault at all. I think as adults, sometimes we don't tip to make a point. But I think kids don't tip because they don't know that that's a thing that should be occurring. And I was just wondering, do you guys talk to your kids about tipping? I think I grew up poor. There was like not a occasion to be tipping because we ate at home. But when I was 11, I started to go to the cafe around the corner, and I would order like a hot chocolate or something. And here's my tipping turning point. I had read something. It was like a short story, and a boy was ordering a sundae at a diner, and the sundae was like 8 cents for a small one and 11 cents for a tall one. And he only had a dime, and he chose to get the small one and leave a tip. Or wait, I didn't do the math right. But you know what I'm saying? Like, he basically made sure that he had enough money to tip. And at 11 years old, that short story or whatever made such an impact on me. It really solidified to me that you do tip. And then I found out tip means to ensure prompt service. So if you got your food on time, then you basically should tip. That standard 15%, I think, is what we all agreed upon. And then you can go above and beyond and do whatever past that. And then if you didn't get your food on time, then your tip, you can adjust accordingly. Like, your tip isn't automatic, right? But if the person got it to you decently, there's your 15% tip. And so we don't, and me too. I never talk to my kids about tipping. Never, right? I'm just noticing because I get tipped now. And then in tipping, one thing I heard recently that I am like a big fan of is the guy said, if I have to order standing up, I'm not going to tip. And so in the instance of a food truck, I think it's a little complicated because it's a restaurant on wheels. And the food truck I work on would typically be a restaurant. All of the food trucks in the area would be restaurants if they were, but the restaurants on wheels. But yeah, I always think it's like a curious thing. And you just know when the kids come. And I blame the parents. Allison says USA is one of the few countries that tip, I believe. Yeah, and a lot of people use that as a reason to not tip. And it's like, I think the people who don't tip the most are people who have never been in a service industry. And they're like, well, the restaurant should be paying them and whatever. And to that, I would still default to, and mind you, this is just my side gig. Like in my normal life as a social worker, obviously I get no tips at all. These are just my observations. And I am a tipper. Before I worked on a food truck, I have, like I said, since I was 11 years old, I've always been a tipper. And further, because I don't know if this is me being a jerk or me just being who I am, but if I tip you less than 15%, I'm going to tell you why that occurred. I'm not going to just like shy away from it. Like the food was cold, you were rude, whatever the case might be. Sometimes I might not even give you a tip, and then I'm going to give you a whole lecture to go with it, baby, to do better. But yeah. Anyway, tip people. I think we should be like teaching our kids about tipping. And we collectively, as I can see, like we collectively don't do it. And again, no judgment. I've got a 21-year-old and a 25-year-old, and I have never, not once, talked to them that about like tipping is an appropriate thing to do. Like, don't go out to eat if you cannot tip with the meal. That's part of getting the meal when you go out to eat, you know? Hi, Erica. That's an interesting spelling. Hi. And Allison says, to be honest, I only think about tipping when I'm exactly at a sit down place. Sometimes it just doesn't occur to me if I'm not sitting down. I don't know why. I think part of it. So there's a pizza place around the corner that's like a drive-through pizza. And on the credit card slip, there's an option to tip them. And I was really like, because it's an expensive pizza. Like if you got a whole pie, it'd be like $30. So the slices are like $8 to $10. And I was like, should I be tipping? And then ultimately I was like, no, the pizza's already made. All they're doing is slicing it and giving it to me. I'm not going to tip for this, even if it's an expensive item. Like you didn't do anything, right? On the food trucks, it's different because again, it's a restaurant on wheels. Like your order is specific to you. Like they're making the order for you. And then delivery, yeah, you definitely gotta tip delivery. That's weird. That's weird to order delivery and not tip. What? Like such a jerk thing to do. It's like, why? Anyway, that's not for nothing. This went on way too long, but it was just called to my attention today that like kids don't tip, and like it's because the adults we don't teach them. I will say this, another thing, drunk people tip really well, especially as the night goes on. Those are the biggest tips. Another comment about tipping, historically, weed smokers, like weed events. I live in a very weed friendly town, like 420 events, that kind of thing. Those people are not tipping. They're just not tipping. And maybe it's because weed is so expensive. And I mean, go look it up yourself. I don't know if what I'm about to say is true, but it seems to me that if you're like a consistent pot smoker, like a pothead, you don't have a lot of money because otherwise you would need your brain power to be doing like a more higher functioning job, which would pay more, you would think. And so maybe that's why potheads don't have money and don't tip. Bam. All right. Enough of this subject. Praise report. Please put your praise report. Put your praise report. Let's say it again. Put your praise report in the chat. You can even say that 3 times fast. It's really fun. Put your praise report in the chat 3 times fast. That's something that the Lord did for you today, baby. A girl at my powerlifting gym invited me to a networking event for the professional friend service that I have, and I'm very grateful for her kind of setting that up for me. She's going to also set up a meeting for me between me and the executive director of an organization, like a one-on-one meeting, director of an organization that could benefit from my services. Whether it's a good meeting, bad meeting, whatever, productive meeting is totally on me and on the Lord. But the fact that my gym mate is coming in clutch and setting up that meeting, I'm just very, very grateful for. It should be noted the people that I lift with are all Christians. They're all in the kingdom, and I'm just like super, super grateful for just for that. And I'll be looking for ways to kind of repay that. Loving and serving. Who did the Lord send to you to love in Jesus's name today? Baby, I don't know. I came across hundreds of people today. I was thinking about this. I don't know that there were, and who knows from their end, but I don't know that I had like a particular person that I was really honed in on today to love and serve. My jokes kind of landed today. Usually the hotter it is, the less people want to be bothered with my jokes. My dad says I'm funny. Okay. My dad says I'm funny. And so some people don't. And the hotter it is, people really don't think I'm funny. So I don't know who I really loved and served today. Allison says, praise report. She put the praise report in the chat. My 3-year-old has been sick with 102 fever. Dang. But the silver lining is that he is extra cuddly. I haven't had a good cuddle with him in a long time because he's always moving. Girl, that's one of those things like, if you know, you know. I remember, that's relatable. I remember my youngest was like 16. So 16, they're not cuddling anymore. And I only had her since she was 14. So it was definitely, she was not trying to be cuddled. She used to be like, you're always hugging me. Why are you always hugging me? And I'd be like, it's because I love you. But when she got sick, she let me baby her. She let me make her like homemade chicken noodle soup. She would let me fuss over her. She would let me like tuck her into bed and the whole thing. I think the kids being sick and being cuddly is like a if you know, you know type vibe. Like not everybody may get it. You know what I mean? Like you don't want your kid to be sick, but dang it, I want some affection from you. Pickle likes lawnmowers, and I love that for you. Okay, so memory verse is Proverbs 21:21. If you pursue kindness and righteousness, then your life will be full of humility, prosperity, and honor. What do you think? Did I get it? Proverbs 21:21. says, whoever pursues righteousness and love. Whoever pursues righteousness and love finds life, prosperity, and honor. This verse emphasizes that following righteousness and love leads to a fulfilling and abundant life, encompassing not only spiritual well-being, but also material prosperity and respect. I really like that. I really dig it a lot. Also, put in the chat. Hey, Erica, put in the chat, please, memory verses for week and subsequent weeks. For this week and subsequent weeks. Recommendations for memory verses. In other news, this is a new segment because sometimes I need to tell y'all things. Tomorrow, again, we'll be going to review Ezekiel chapter 18, verses 19 and 20. Somebody named Saren had asked me a question regarding Jesus carrying sins for our Father. And does that essentially separate then, if Jesus is God, does that separate, how does that make sense? If God the Father is God and Jesus the Son is God, how can God the Father assign the carrying of the sins to God the Son? And we were talking about, I think this is an amazing question, but we were talking about something completely different. So what we're going to do on tomorrow is go over this verse and go over what we find and discuss it as a group. So go ahead and hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell. You can also go to my live page and hit the notification bell for that particular live stream that is occurring tomorrow. Matthew 23:12. Oh, that's terrible penmanship. Matthew 23:12 for the memory verse. Okay. Memory verse. Thank you, Allison. And it has been suggested that we move into a StreamYard format. If you guys don't know what StreamYard is, it's a different platform where we can, how you're listening to me talk, it would be all of us talking, like Brady Bunch style, like 9 people on a screen or whatever, and we're all talking, and that live stream streams to YouTube. So if you're watching from YouTube, you would not be able to interact with us like how I'm interacting with you right now. Anyway, I think it's a good format for viewer requested. Yeah, it does sound fun. I think it's a good format for viewer requested subjects. So we can get people like Allison and Ben and Baptized by Fire. We can get these people on and have like a full conversation. And then YouTube world can like witness what this conversation looks like. I think that's a way to go. By tomorrow, will that happen? I don't know because I work again all day tomorrow. But somebody else asked a question, and not this Sunday, but next Sunday, that'll be another viewer requested subject. And I'm going to start like soliciting that too. Like, I love I love when people get on this live stream and ask questions related to the word that are thoughtful and have integrity. And what I mean by integrity is some people ask questions or make comments just to kick up dust, right? Like somebody came on here yesterday and they were like, Jesus is a myth. And it's like, I'm going to go ahead and ignore that because there's no substance to it. You're coming onto somebody else's platform for what reason? You want them to start arguing with you? Like, it's very unclear. But sometimes people ask like super genuine questions. But unfortunately, the topics we have every day are already set. So to go then, and it happens from time to time, believe me, to go then into a separate subject really confuses things and muddies the water, and it's like a little hard to navigate. So honest questions will now go to Sundays for viewer requested subjects. Allison says, you have good ideas. I like them. Thank you. Ponch says, God bless you, my sis. God bless you. Thank you. Thank you. So that's one thing. Viewer requested subjects will be on Sundays starting tomorrow. StreamYard incorporation, just at some point, maybe you guys can help me bully Ben into helping me do StreamYard. Help me bully Ben. Ben, are you on here? We can bully him right now. Second thing, for the first until through October, Thursdays are food truck nights. It's been, you guys are here with me on food truck nights, right? We live stream from the food truck. It's something we're going to have to figure out because there's people constantly coming to the window. There's just a lot going on and it's a lot to manage. So, but that's what it is. And so far, I mean, honestly, it's been going pretty well. Food truck nights are like my highest live stream nights. So anyway, Thursdays are food truck nights. Guillermo got a burger named after him. This is true. It is fantastic. Guillermo, go ahead. I'm not going to talk about it right now. I'm going to move to the next thing. But Guillermo, write down what the burger is today that was created. Oh, Allison, thank you. That was actually, I couldn't read my notes. That's a God thing. I think that was a God thing. I couldn't read my notes. It says next like sub button, and I didn't know what that meant. Allison, this is what it meant. Allison says you get the trolls on food truck nights. So right now, just so you guys know, there's 7 people watching this. Do me a favor, double tap the screen and like. This channel is Christian content. When you like the content, when you hit the like button or you subscribe, it goes into the algorithm for other people who are also searching for Christian content on Thursdays, because it's not Christian content. It's well, it is a little bit, but it's also a lot of like food truck shenanigans. And it brings in a large non-Christian population. Or like today, on the weekends, I live stream from the food truck and it's almost no Christian content, right? Sometimes like here and there, but it's not structured. So there's going to be an influx of trolls. There's going to be an influx of like disrespectful comments. I'm gonna say I'm just gonna take like 2 minutes to talk about this. So the owner of the food truck does very, very well. I'm not gonna get into her business, but she does very well. And on the live stream today, somebody insulted her as the you know what I mean? It's just a person. And my thought process was like, that is wild that like you would have somebody in front of you that is successful, very successful in their own regard. You could ask this successful person, entrepreneur, that like started from nothing and now they're here. You can ask them literally anything. And instead of asking them something that would boost yourself up, you choose to insult them instead. That mentality is wild to me. I don't care if you make $100,000 a year being a shoe shiner. I have so many questions for you. Not, oh, the lineup on your fade is crappy. It was so wild to me. But Allison, like to your point, right? Like the non-Christian crowd really does bring in the riffraff. And hear me, just in case somebody wants to be like, what? I can't believe she said that. Just because you're not a Christian does not make you riffraff. However, if there's going to be riffraff on this channel, if there's going to be some disrespect on this channel, it's going to come from non-Christians just due to this being a Christian channel, right? Like Christians will come to this channel and like and subscribe and engage in conversation. Or like Guillermo today, like we weren't doing nothing. And here he goes, like adding to the conversation, like, here's a burger for you guys to try, right? Like that's kind of what ends up happening. And so I thought maybe adding a couple more moderators too as the summer goes on. And just for context, when I stream regarding the food truck, when I tell you the viewers, so these viewers on my streams, on average, about 200 viewers a night or less, maybe 150 to 200 viewers. When I stream on the food truck, we're talking between 650 and 2,000 viewers, which is all the more trolls that are coming in. So I'm thinking like who could be like really good moderators. I'm thinking like a baptized by fire. There was one other person I was kind of thinking of, and I forgot who it was, but definitely like a baptized by fire that is just gonna like boot these people out so we can keep the conversation healthy and toward the Lord. You know what I mean? Yeah, Guillermo, check out the Guillermo special. This thing was so good, I went back and had a second one. Oh, Guardian. Shoot, where is he at? Where the heck is Guardian at? I haven't seen him in a while, but yeah, he would be a good one. Guardian would be a good one. Guillermo says, it's what Jesus referred to as fiery arrows, but who is in us is greater than he who is in the world. Right. Oh, Sherry, yeah. The hateful troll comments. Yeah, fiery arrows. It's kind of like, to me, like for me, to be honest, I don't have that much of an ego, and I'm putting myself out here, nor am I like really successful in any regard. But the comment toward the owner of the food truck was like, it really was mind blowing. Like you could ask any question and like, you fumble, like it's kind of stupid. Like I know that sounds terrible, but that's stupid. And then last thing, I know this is going on and on and on. This is really important. This is really special, guys. So there's going to start to be conversations going. There'll be 10-minute conversations I'll be having. And the subject is, what do you think about Jesus? That's the premise. What do you think about Jesus? These discussions will be called entering the chat, because you know how like on YouTube or whatever, it'll be like, Allison is entering the chat. Guillermo is entering the chat. And Allison and Guillermo are two completely like different people, right? So you don't really know what they're about to say. So we want people who you don't really like know necessarily what they're about to say, but the subject is always going to be the same. And that is, what do you think about Jesus? So for June, we have the owner of the food truck, Afton. She is an unbeliever. In July, we have Jacob, who is an 18-year-old Christian. He wants to get into being a trainer, but he's like a statewide football champion. He's a power lifter. You should see him. He's massive. He's like at 300 pounds, like pulling that much weight. He wants to be a Christian fitness influencer. And then in August, we'll have our Ben. You guys will see Ben. Ben out of all of them, Ben's the one I'm the most worried about, because Ben is extremely knowledgeable on the word. Sometimes people come in here and they're like, Lakeitha, you know your word. And it's like, wait till you see what Ben's got going on. You know what I mean? Anyway, the purpose of entering the chat, what do you think about Jesus, is to have discussions with different types of people who are capable of articulating what they actually think about Jesus. And by articulating, it's like not only their thoughts, but like their like visceral reactions to Jesus. How do you think Jesus has impacted the state of America? I would love to hear what an atheist has to say about that. But the way we kind of do things right now, if you haven't noticed, is it's hard to talk about Jesus with unbelievers or even sometimes within our own denominations without it getting heated. And so for that, what I'm not looking for are people, this won't be like an evangelism thing. I'm not going to tell you about Jesus and move you toward conversion. Like, that's not my intent. My intention, it truly is like, what do you know about Christ? You know, how has he impacted your life, especially if like you haven't given your life to him? Like, in what ways do you interact with Christ? And so it'll go unbeliever, believer, 18-year-old believer, like theologian, Ben. And then what I would love to do moving forward in this series is get all sorts of people. The idea is that no two people will be the same. So if you're entering the chat, right, all the people entering the chat are different and they have different contributions to whatever the subject is. So I would love a Muslim. I would love an 80-year-old. I would love a 10-year-old. I would love a Buddhist. I would love a priest. Like, you see what I'm saying? So anyway, the title is Entering the Chat. What do you think about Jesus? Next Saturday will be a behind the scenes. So Afton and I will be recording right here. And you guys, this live stream that we're on right now, you guys will be just off in the distance. And you'll be watching it live as we're recording. And then if Afton's up for it, maybe she'll jump in for some Q&A. So Allison says, I'm excited for Ben then. Guillermo says, will it be call-in or typed in? That's been asked before, some type of call-in, but we're not there yet. It'll be a video, a long-form video that will get posted. And the goal is June 23rd. That video will be posted. But the behind-the-scenes live stream will be next Saturday, same time, 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So make sure you hit the subscribe button. Allison says, Key, please check out the channel Apologia Studios. I think I'm already, because I already know about it. I don't know why I wouldn't already be subscribed. But I already know about it. Their shorts, medium, or long length videos are all good. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm already like in that on there, but yeah, I'll check into it for sure. Oops. Okay, that was it. Those were the updates, guys. We're going to get into Deuteronomy 3:22. Get your Bible. Hashtag get your Bible. Deuteronomy 3:22. The reason why I was able to talk so much is because we're in a solid theme. We're in like 5 or 6 verses in a row, where the subject for all 5 or 6 is God fights for us. And it's all the same messaging, as you're about to find out if you've been here the last few days too. Deuteronomy 3:22. Get your Bibles out. NIV, do not be afraid of them. The Lord your God himself will fight for you. What is this in KJV? Ooh, let's get ourselves together here. Okay, let's get it together. KJV, I feel like, let's bring it back. NIV, Deuteronomy 3:22. Do not be afraid of them. The Lord your God himself will fight for you. Deuteronomy 3:22 KJV. Ye shall not fear them, for the Lord your God, he shall fight for you. Are you guys noticing? Because we've been at it for a little bit now, this key phrase. The key phrase in 322 over the last maybe like week. Did you pick it up? I'm going to read it again. Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid of them. The Lord your God himself will fight for you. So here we hear, do not be afraid. In the entirety of the word, Old Testament and New Testament, the wording, the phrasing, do not be afraid, fear not, be courageous. This phrasing occurs 365 times in the word. And I was saying yesterday, my personal favorite, just because I'm messy like that, just because I like a little drama, right? Like my favorite is when the Lord is like, do not be afraid, for I am your God. Whenever the Lord is saying that to somebody in the Bible, it's about to go down. He'll say that. He'll be like, listen, where's my elbow? He'll be like, listen, don't be afraid. Don't worry about it. I got you. I'm God. I'm God. I am the Lord your God. Do not be courageous right now. Pick your chin up, okay? And then as soon as he says that, he's annihilated men, women, children, billy goats, people, places, things, and sometimes why. Everything, right? It's so comforting. It's so comforting. Sheesh. All right, we're gonna zoom out. What is happening in this picture? Moses is the one who's gonna be chatting here. Moses forbidden to cross the Jordan. I'll tell you a little plot twist. That's what it's called, a little plot twist. You know why Moses was forbidden to cross the Jordan? Because God just said, it's up. It's up. Time is up for you, right? But not in a mean way. It's just like, time is up. Your journey, this section of the story, you did your part. You led the people to here. And now it's time for you to give Joshua the baton. And it's time for Joshua to take over, right? And you can imagine it might be a little, you know what I mean? It might be a little difficult or whatever, but that's what's happening right here. Moses is forbidden to cross the Jordan by God because Joshua is supposed to be doing that. So this is Moses talking in verse 21. If you're just clicking in here, we're in Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 21. At that time, that's Moses. At that time, I commanded Joshua, you have seen with your own eyes all that the Lord has done to these two kings. He put the pause on them. The Lord will do the same to all the kingdoms over there where you are going. So don't worry. That's the more of don't worry. As we can see here in verse 22, do not be afraid of them. The Lord your God himself will fight for you. And so what do you think is about to happen? At that time, I pleaded with the Lord, sovereign Lord, you have begun to show to your servant your greatness and your strong hand. For what God is there in heaven or on earth who could do the deeds and mighty works you do? Okay, let me go over and see the good land beyond the Jordan, that fine hill country and Lebanon. But the Lord already told you, you ain't going nowhere. He's trying to butter them up. But because of you, the Lord was angry with me and would not listen to me. That is enough, the Lord said. Do not speak to me anymore about this matter. Go up to the top of Pisgah and look west and north and south and east. Look at the land with your own eyes, since you are not going to cross this Jordan. But commission Joshua, right? Get J-Day over here and encourage and strengthen him, for he will lead this people across and will cause them to inherit the land that you will see. So we stayed in the valley near Beth Peor. When I was in Florida, I managed these two group homes, these two private group homes. And as I was leaving, and mind you, I was leaving on really great terms. They actually asked me to stay multiple times, but it was also time like the Lord was moving me on. And the girl that was replacing me, she was a nice girl and everything, but I was having such a hard time letting go of my position, even though everything was set, the transition was set, the person was set up that would replace me. That person was trained effectively. Everything was supposed to be like a smooth handoff, but for some reason I was having a hard time like letting it go and moving on. And I wonder just how difficult that was for Moses, because Moses has been with these people. Remember, Moses was like, let my people go, right? He did the like back and forth. Well, like, first of all, he went into the wilderness and like learned how to like farm and do agriculture and all that. And then the Lord was like, yo, you're about to go back to Egypt and rescue these people. And Moses was like, no, bro, I don't want to. And the Lord was like, but that's what you're about to go do, right? And so Moses went ahead and did that, got the people, they're sitting up here wrestling and tussling and fighting with him. And he's like, we got to go to the promised land. And they're like, complaining the whole way with stank attitudes, right? But finally they learned to trust Moses after all this time. And then here comes Joshua. He's raising up Joshua. He's mentoring Joshua. Joshua is meant to be his predecessor. Like, we're all on the same page. God, Joshua, and Moses were on the same page, what was supposed to happen. And then it came time for the transition to happen. Let's run it back. Run it back to 23. Run it back to verse 23. At that time, I being Moses, at that time I pleaded with the Lord, sovereign Lord, you have begun to show to your servant your greatness and your strong hand, buttering them up like a biscuit. Sovereign Lord, you have begun to show to your servant your greatness and your strong hand. For what God is there in heaven or on earth who can do the deeds and mighty works you do? I'm just spoon feeding it to you, Lord. You know what, Lord? Let me go over. I know you just said I'm not going over to that land. I know you just said that it ends here. I know you just said that, but verse 25, let me go over and see the good land beyond the Jordan, that fine hill country and Lebanon. How difficult that must have been. You know what I mean? How hard that must have been. But anyway, and to be coaching Joshua through it the whole time. Don't be scared, bro. Don't be scared. Man, this story, like Deuteronomy is lit, Joshua is lit, Exodus is pretty lit. It's time for us to go, guys. It's time for us to go. There were some more questions. And I suppose I will just leave you with this in regard to not being afraid, because the Lord, our God himself, will fight for us. I just want you to think about this. And this isn't for everybody. I'm not talking to everybody here. I'm just talking to somebody. Okay. Is God doing something in your life that you are resisting? Is there, I'll use myself as an example, starting this professional friend service. I have no opposition. I have literally everyone I tell about the service, they think it's a great idea. Not only that, I have all the encouragement. I have no opposition. At this juncture, I have people literally setting up meetings for me, and I'm resisting it for some reason. It could be a fear of failure. It could be like, am I going to have time for this? But the Lord, the good Lord that I serve and that y'all serve too, isn't going to just like give you something good and then you can't handle that good. When the Lord gives you something good, he's going to give it to you all the way. So you need not fear. You need not be afraid of what's going to come with it, because whatever it is, if the Lord is bringing you into a room, if the Lord is bringing you into a new city, amen. If the Lord is bringing children into your life, if the Lord is bringing opportunities into your life, friend, I think it's normal and natural to be a little afraid, because this is something new. I don't know if I can handle it. I don't know if I have the skills to do this. I don't know what people are going to say about it, but our Lord is not a Lord of like confusion or mayhem, or a Lord that's going to disrupt your life without giving you the support and the love that you need. Trust me on that. Do not fear, for I am your Lord. Let's read it again and then pray out. Verse 22, do not be afraid of them. The Lord your God himself will fight for you. Somebody, not all of y'all, somebody has something going on in their life that the Lord sent to them, and you're being a little scary pants about it. And I want you to know, I understand. Me, a human, I understand that you're scared, but guess what? You're with the Lord, and he already knows the like success that's on the other side. He already knows the outcome. Amen. I honestly feel like that was the prayer right there. What you need to do, whoever, this isn't for everybody. One of y'all, there's 7 people watching this. One of y'all 7, you've been pussyfooting around the thing that the Lord gave you. You're not at 100% because you're scared of something. You're scared of success. You're scared of failure. You're scared of what them people are going to think. Shut up. Cling to the Lord. Cling to the Lord. Those little kittens, you ever see the videos where the kittens climb up the person? Cling to the Lord, bro. That's the prayer. That's the prayer tonight. Okay? Good night. I'll talk to you later. Okay? Go do it. Stop resisting. Trust the Lord. Amen. 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time tomorrow. Good night.